Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your boy An from Blackwell Aquatics, and this video I'm going to announce the winner of last week's giveaway. So we're going to go ahead and go through that first, and then I'm going to go through a topic that a lot of people always ask me about. Okay, so congratulations to Huang Cecily. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. You are the winner of the Mahachai pair giveaway. So what is the next step? The next step is you need to contact us through the website. If you don't know what to do, you can just go ahead and just post on this video on YouTube, and I'll get you started. Keep in mind that you do need to pay for shipping, and we're going to talk to you about your options. Okay, so on to this video. So if you guys didn't notice, I recently got ACL surgery. What happened was 3 months ago, I was riding my dirt bike out on the trail that I typically ride every month or so, and I ended up tearing my ACL. So 5 days ago, 6 technically, I finally got it reconstructed, and I'm about 6 days post-op, and I have been on a lot of anti-inflammatory and pain medication. I just cut it out today, but if you guys never took an anti-inflammatory medication or pain medication, it does knock you out. So I could not make any content, and I could barely take care of the fish. Like walking from my room to the fish room, like I'm out of breath because I have to use I'm using a cane right now. But for the first couple of days, I couldn't walk, and then yesterday I was using like one of those old man walker, but today I'm able to use my cane. So it's kind of a good sign because it means I'm healing pretty quick. Alright, so that news aside, this video is going to be on whether or not you can keep males and female splendens together. This is one of the questions that I often get asked many times through emails. I probably get asked this question like on a weekly basis. So my usual answer when somebody asks me this question is that 9 out of 10 times I would be against keeping males and females together. I think what happened is people would research wild bettas, and one of the fish that they're interested in is Betta and bellas. When they look up Betta and bellas on Google, what they see is either they're called the crescent betta or they're called a peaceful betta. And being called a peaceful betta kind of gives the person the false impression that these bettas are a lot more peaceful than their domestic counterparts. Now this is just bad information, guys. What happened is the males will be really aggressive and the female will be always hiding. And sure, in a large enough tank like a 10-gallon or 20-gallon tank, you probably can keep them together, and it will probably be relatively okay in the long term, but then they will just end up breeding. So splendens, the males and female only really come together when it comes to mating time. I kind of do understand the thought process behind wanting to keep a male and female together. Most people just have 1 or 2 tanks, and they kind of want to make a community tanks where they have a male and a female betta, and then they have a bunch of nanofish. But the reality is the male might stress out the female, or vice versa. Sometimes you have the female stressing out the male. And when the fish are under stress, that kind of causes them to be more susceptible to getting sick. But that being said, I have successfully kept males and females together over a long period of time. And sometimes you just get lucky and you have a pair of fish that are relatively peaceful, and they might even breed and might even take care of the babies together. The problem is when somebody asks me they want to purchase a pair because they want to keep them together, it's impossible for me to guess the long-term effect of keeping the specific fish that I'm shipping out to them. And because I have so many fish, and oftentimes I'll breed multiple pairs at the same time, I can kind of see which pair can kind of stay together and which pair can't. And if a customer wants a pair that's peaceful, It's just not practical for me to take, just mix and match a bunch of fish so that I can find a peaceful pair for that individual. I just don't have the time. But I'm not saying that it's impossible. You can very well do this. And I'll show you one way in which you can do it with relatively good consistency for the long term. So the first way to do it is to have a lot of females and one male. So when I say a lot of females, at least 4 to 5 females and a male in a well-planted tank around 10 gallons. Another thing you can do to kind of spread out the aggression and attention is to put in ditter fish. Good choice for ditter fish would be rainbow fish or nanofish like chili rasboras. I find that when I keep bettas together like this, the attention goes away from forming territories and fighting into kind of like looking for food. I'm not sure how this works, but it just works like that. Another thing you can do to kind of increase your chance of success with keeping males and females together long term is by having older males. Older males tend to be less hyperactive, they tend to be less aggressive, they tend to be better fathers, and they tend to beat up a female less. So what is considered an older male? An older male would be any male, in my opinion, that is over 12 months old. These fish can actually live for a pretty long time. I would say the average age, if you take really good care of them, would be about 2.5 years. But usually they don't really last longer than 1.5 years. So that is probably the average age of captivity for males, about 1.5 years. And what usually happens is they succumb to disease, or they just don't have the genetic potential to reach that older age. When it comes to the age of the females, older females tend to be better at not eating the eggs. And oftentimes, really old females, they might even help the father in taking care of the young and nesting. I even seen some older females make bubble nests with the male. When it comes to breeding, I tend to use older males and younger females, because younger females tend to have more eggs, they tend to be more readily available to breed. Older females tend to be a little picky on what male they want to breed with, and that can be a little difficult. All of that aside, you can always get young males that are very compatible with females and can live with a female long term. In fact, I have one right now. I have a Betta Mahachai, a young Betta Mahachai male and a young female that are not showing any signs of aggression, which is great. By the way, that's the fish I'm also giving away to that winner. Another way to increase your probability of having a peaceful, compatible pair is if they are genetic kins. So if they come from the same spawn, or if they're brothers and sisters, I always tend to find that the aggression between genetic kins are a lot lower than if I get a fish from a different batch. So if you've been like breeding a line for quite a while, you're gonna probably find more success in finding a male and female that you can leave together for a long period of time. I know somebody's gonna ask me this. So, which species of beta splendens do I think are gonna have a higher chance of being a long-term compatible pair? From my experience, I think beta stictos have lower level of aggression. I'm not really sure why that is. They are a more distinct species of splenden. They're a little stouter, they're a little smaller, they have shorter fins, they have smaller faces. I'm not really sure why that is, but don't rely on which species as a marker to why you buy a pair of XYZ splenden because you want to keep them long term. Because they're all relatively the same when it comes to aggression. What to look for when you put a male and a female together. If your female is cowering in the corner of the tank, like on the surface or just hiding, chances are they're probably not going to work out long term. If your female is swimming out in the open and eating and not really showing signs of fear, there's a good probability that they could be with the male for a long term. But you can't really use that as a judgment of success, because the aggression can turn 180 at any moment. So maybe for the first 5 days, the female is swimming out in the open and she's doing great. She's eating with the male. There's no fighting involved. And then all of a sudden on the 6th day, she's beat up. The male beat her up. If you see the male chasing the female a lot, that's probably another sign that you probably can't keep them together long term. Some males are just really aggressive, and they're gonna always want to chase the female and be very, very territorial. So, in conclusion, if you are buying a pair of splenden type because you want to keep them together, the answer is typically no. Unless you are doing like a harem type of community where you're having one male, multiple females, and some ditta fish. That will work. If you really must have a male and a female together, you should really look at some of the mouth breeders like Betta albimarginata, Betta chernotes, Betta demediatas, and Betta rubras. Those are my recommendation if you're looking for a pair and you only have one tank. That's the best fish to get, even when you're a beginner. Even some of the larger mouth breeders like Antutas and Unimaculatas, they're also a really good choice if you want to keep them together. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it for today. I want to congratulate Huang for winning his Betta Mahachai pair. And lucky to Huang, that Betta Mahachiensis pair is also a very compatible pair. I haven't seen any aggression from them. So you can most likely keep the pair together long term. For the rest of you guys, thank you for your participation. I will be releasing another video on tank setup for breeding different types of wild bettas. This includes splendens, cocinas, small mouth breeders, and large mouth breeders. So stay tuned for that video, and maybe I might do another giveaway. Alright, thanks guys.